Imagine me above the trees, a victim of pure imagination. It's so sweet how I rise above the sky before your eyes. Imagine me above the trees, a victim of pure imagination. It's so sweet how I rise above the sky before your eyes. I can't picture me telling my little bro.
What up? What up, my guys? Welcome to another show here, man. Wednesday, November 1st, man. Ready to get some cash with my guys in this one, man. It's all love. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. It is a long slate. I got my schedule's been really busy here lately, man. So meetings all morning. Got another one to do right after this, man. So I'm gonna get straight to it. Not really much time to BS around. You see what I'm saying? I'm not really here to waste your time. I appreciate everybody for being here. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. You could join the channel as a member as well. Also, go download the app right now, Action Network. No matter what sport you like to bet, tons of free picks on the app from professional sports bettors, guys. Whether it's NBA, NFL, college basketball, baseball, whatever it is, guys. Make sure you go download that app right now. Let's get straight to it in this one, man. We're headed to D-Town in this one. Let's head over here to the streets of Detroit in this one. Pistons, land 4 at the house versus the Portland Trailblazers in this one. A little bit of info for you. Duran, unfortunately, didn't go through shoot-around, and Bagley did have on the shooting. He had on it looks like that Bagley's probably going to be the starting center in this game. So do with that info what you like. Obviously, they could have an impact on the total if Duran is out there. It could also have an impact on props as well. In this one, I'd like for him to suit up. I'd like to back the Pistons in this particular spot, my guys. Like I say, the Pistons, they've lost 7 straight games to the Portland Trailblazers. They've also lost 9 in the last 10. But in my opinion, now it's time for the Pistons to start owning the Blazers here. Obviously, the Blazers are probably about to go into a full rebuild, which they don't have a bad team. But obviously, when you look at guys coming off the bench, it's not the greatest in my opinion. Pistons are a little bit further ahead in their rebuild there. I mean, now they actually got some ballers over there. So even if Duran does miss this one, I still think the Pistons could get it done. Not enough for me to bet it. I do think there's better spots on the board, but if Duran's out, that probably means that you might get a few more points scored in this one. And you also, I mean, DeAndre Ayton might have a little bit better game. I know his points prop was at 11.5 in this one. But the fact of the matter is the Blazers are coming off a win here, and I wouldn't like to back them coming off a win, in my opinion. Pistons are the only way that I could look in this game. It's actually a bounce back spot as well for the Pistons coming off a bad game versus the Thunder. They're back at the house where they will play their best basketball this season. And I think that they still have enough young guys, enough the bench as well. Like when the bench gets in, they definitely have the advantage, in my opinion. So the Pistonians, the Detroit Pistons, the only way that I could look in this particular game, I think they come out here with the win in this one. Be interested to see if the line moves down when Duran is most likely probably ruled out in this one. He didn't go through shoot around. He was on the bike in that one. So let's see what happens in that one, my guys. Let's head over here to the streets of Milwaukee. Well, not Milwaukee. We're going to Toronto in this one. Raptors getting 5 points at the house versus the Milwaukee Bucks on this one. Land 5 on the road. In this one, Raptors won their most recent meeting. Like obviously, it was last year. Bucks won the first 3, but it's crazy because before that, the Raptors had won 5 straight versus the Milwaukee Bucks in this one. Raptors sitting at 1-3 on the season, a little bit underwhelming if you ask me, especially with their expectations with their new coach. All my people from Toronto kept telling me the Raptors are going to be ballers this season. It has not been a great start for them, to be perfectly honest with you here. So, obviously coming off 3 straight losses as well. Situationally, I'd like to back the Raptors here. Not a huge fan of their bench, but not a huge fan of Milwaukee's bench as well. But I just don't. I'll be perfectly honest. I think they have to figure things out now. Adrian Griffin came from the Raptors. Obviously, he's going to want to come in here and get the win. But like I say, with Damian Lillard, just like basketball-wise, starting Damian Lillard and Malik Beasley is side by side. It's just, I think it's somewhat food on defense, in my opinion, man. So still trying to figure the Bucks out. Don't really want to back them. Don't really want to fade them right now. Obviously, they're still a great team. Dame can have a really good night. He can have a really bad night as well. Giannis, I feel like every time I watch him, he travels at least 5 times a game, but that's a whole nother conversation. But just the way that the Raptors play and the way their sticky defense is, the way that they play, I'd lean towards them at the house as a home dog in somewhat of a desperation spot, but this is not a game that I'm super comfortable in betting. So I guess if I had a free play on it, I would be taking the Raptors plus the 5 here. But like I say, personally, still watching the Bucks, still watching both of these teams, and just really are. That's what the first few weeks, really first month about the NBA season is about. It's all about watching these teams, watching the games. Maybe you can make some live bets, but just really trying to figure out who they really are. And once we figure them out, that's when it's go time, my guys. That's when it's go time. So nothing really strong for me on this particular game, my guys. Let's head over here to OKC in this one. Thunder laying 3.5 at the house versus the New Orleans Pelicans. And I'm not going to mention the playoff spot anymore. I'm not going to mention because it hadn't worked out well this season. But you guys know the spot. You know what the situation is. Situationally, this should be a Pelican spot. This is also back-to-back national TV games for the Pelicans as well. And it's something I kind of figured out a few years ago. When a team is coming off of a national TV game loss and they had in the next games or whenever the next national TV game is, you probably want to back them there. Now, the Thunder, they usually like to turn up in their national TV spots. So this is going to be a tricky spot. I'll tell you right now, if I get Brandon Ingram in this game, I have to play the New Orleans Pelicans. We probably won't know until 5 minutes before the game, but they did some imaging on his knee, and they said that there was nothing really structurally wrong. So I guess it's all about feel in this one. If Ingram comes to play in this one, I think the Pelicans can actually win this game by margin here. And also another thing I'm figuring out, some teams from last year that were really good might not be so good this season. We just got to watch the teams and figure them out. The Thunder do have a few injuries right now, and I do think that their bench is a little less stronger than it was last year as well, man. But obviously, when you have SGA at the helm, guys like Lou Dort, a defensive stopper, still Josh Giddey as well as a baller. Chet Holmgren isn't bad as well, but I mean, let's be honest here. Valanciunas and Zion Williamson can absolutely body Holmgren down there, in my opinion. And you look at this: Zion has never lost he's never lost in this arena. He's never lost versus going to Oklahoma City in this one, man. He's I believe 5-0 in this one, man. Pelicans have actually won 5 of their last 6 games in Oklahoma City as well. Like I say, Zion's never lost. This is a bounce back spot for the Pelicans here. They probably come in here as a little bit more of a desperate team after they got smacked versus the Warriors. That game really ran me hot, but whatever. It's a part of the process, man. But they did lose the play-in game to the Thunder. So it's not playoff revenge, but it's kind of close, man. Remember, the Pelicans were at the house and they ended up losing that game, an opportunity to make the playoffs in that way, man. So in theory, the Pelicans should have this game circled on their calendar somewhat. Like I said, would really love to have Ingram here, but to be perfectly honest, even if he's out, I think Zion is way too much for these guys in this one, man. He could get whatever he wants in the paint in this particular game. So if Zion really wants to come out and have a bust out type of game on national TV, this is your opportunity right here. I'd heavily lean toward the Pelicans plus the 3.5. I actually can't talk you off going ahead betting it as well. Obviously, if Ingram is in there, then it's going to go down. But even if it went down to like +1, +1.5, +2 for the Pelicans, if Ingram was ruled in, I'd play the Pelicans there on the money line. I definitely think they can. This is a winnable game for the Pelicans, who were looking really nice before getting smacked up versus the Warriors. Steph went absolutely crazy on them. In this particular spot, if Herb Jones can stay out of foul trouble, I do think that he can somewhat kind of stifle or kind of keep SGA at bay, my guys. But obviously, it's got to be a collective effort. You're going to need CJ McCollum to be busting some threes. You're going to need Zion to play his best game so far this season, but not so sure that I'm looking towards I'm not looking towards laying the points with the Thunder in this particular spot, my guys. This isn't the Pistons here. This is the Pelicans, who probably have revenge on their mind. I'll be perfectly honest. I think that Pelicans plus the 3.5 is the right side in this game, whether Ingram plays or not. If he's out, you'll get a better number. If he's in, it'll probably go down to +2, +1.5, maybe even +1, but it doesn't matter because that should give you even more confidence that they win the game. So Pelicans are definitely on my short list. Pay attention to Ingram. I'm telling you right now, if he's in, I will be betting the Pelicans immediately, my guys. But I even still lean their way, even without Brandon Ingram. That's the type of energy that you got to have, my guys. Let's head over here to Hot Atlanta in this one. Hawks land 8.5 points at the house versus the Washington Wizards in this one. Trae Young did pop up on the injury report. They probably feel like they can win this game without him. They've won 3 straight versus the Wizards. They've won 6 out of the last 7 versus the Wizards. They've also won 8 out of the last 10 as well versus the Washington Wizards in this one. Watching the Wizards Don't really like this team. They don't play a lick of defense, but you know who else doesn't play a lick of defense, especially in uninspiring type of games like this? The Atlanta Hawks. I'm sorry, man. There's no way that I would lay 8.5 with the Hawks here, especially if Trae Young is questionable with, I think it was like an ankle or a heel or something like that. It's like, why would you even pop him up on the injury report? They probably, and to be honest with you, I got to be perfectly blunt here. I think that the Hawks would be better off without Trae Young. It sounds crazy as hell, but DeJounte Murray can run this team by himself, and they actually look a little better to be. I don't know if that actually fits well. So honestly, like what I'm saying, I kind of lean the Wizards here. I don't have a strong look on this game, but just the way that I feel like if the Hawks traded Trae Young and Clint Capella and got some back for that, they would be doing just fine. Maybe not even, maybe even better. But still, the fact that he's on the injury report maybe shows me that they don't really care about this game. Oh my guys, let me see who they have on deck. So they have a little road trip on deck. They got Pelicans, Thunder, and then Magic. So not a real look ahead spot, but they could be in a prime letdown after that huge comeback versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's either two things going to happen. They're going to have a huge letdown. They can mess around and lose this game outright, or they could build off that and try to use that momentum into trying to be a great team, like possibly a top 4, top 5 team in the East. So this is a game I'll watch really closely. Still watching the Wizards closely. This team, they might be one of the worst teams in the NBA. If they continue to play defenses like this and Jordan Poole continue to throw up these BS shots here, they could be in for a long season here. So tough game to kind of figure out. Obviously wait for Trae Young, but I can't say if I have a free bet on it, I'd be betting the Wizards plus the points in this one. Just the way that the Hawks play, and so they're so sporadic. I can't lay close to double digits with them here. And in theory, if you're the Wizards, you'd want to try to. It's still early in the season. It's not over yet. You know what I'm saying? So you can't give up this early, but it's just a really tough team to figure out. Both of these teams, it's just somebody saying it's a lot of parity in today's NBA. So once we figure them out, it's going to be a lot different. But right now, we're just guessing, and I would guess to take the damn near double digits with the Washington Wizards in this game. Nothing that I feel super strong about, my guys. Let's head over here to New York in this one, man. Got a little baseball series here. Knicks land 6 at the house versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. What is going on with the Cavs, man? I'm watching Donovan Mitchell. I'm watching his interviews. I don't like the body language. I don't like the things that are coming out of his mouth. Obviously, he's pissed. Obviously, he doesn't want Jared Allen and Darius Garland to continue to be out. Even Karis LeVert was out yesterday as well. They got absolutely smoked by the Knicks in that one, man. And what's supposed to be a circle spot, it's really eye-opening in my opinion. They've lost 4 straight to the Knicks. In theory, you'd like to take the Cavs in this bounce back spot. I need Garland. I need LeVert. I need Jared Allen there. Full squad. I would have been all over the Cavs yesterday, man, but did end up staying off of it. The Cavs have they've actually lost 7. They're on a 0-7 against the spread streak, man. The Cleveland Cavaliers, who are supposed to be coming out with playing with their heads on fire, they're lost 3 straight games as well. This game tonight is going to tell us a lot about the Cavs, man. And in theory, you'd want a ball when you go back to New York. You see what I'm saying? But that's where they said the lights were too bright for them. We know the crowd's going to be all over them, but situationally, not necessarily the greatest spots for the Knicks. They come back home off of 3 straight road games, right? Come back home off of 3 straight road games, and then now they got all type of stuff going on my phone. Now they first game home off of 3 straight road games, and it's a back-to-back. You know, when you get in the house at night, you know what I'm saying? There's things that you got to take care of. So to be honest, I can't back the Cavs without all their guys, but situationally, it would be a spot in theory to fade the home team here. It's not even just the Knicks; it's just any team coming home off a 3-game road trip, and then it's a road home back to back. It's not the best of spots, in my opinion here. And they also have the Bucks on deck, so they're going to come home for this one game, have to head right back out on the road and play a tournament game versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Which one? Obviously, they hate the Cavs and they probably feel like they can own them, but there is a little bit of a look ahead factor here, just a tad. These teams with the tourney games on Friday, I'm looking towards fading them. I'm telling you straight up. So if I'm betting this game, I'm taking the Cavs plus the 6. I can't even look that way unless LeVert is in there. At least you can get LeVert and Mitchell together. We know Mitchell's gonna come in here pissed off, but we'd really like to have Jared Allen and Darius Garland, but they're not really healthy right now. But I'd still lean the Cavs plus the 6. This could and RJ Barrett got in. I mean, I'm not big on RJ. Don't get it twisted, but they possibly could be down one of their starters today. Still lean Cavs plus the 6, man. If they got any ounce of pride, I don't care who is out there on the floor. You got to come out there with something, man. You got to come out there with something. Possible look ahead spot. I don't like the spot for the Knicks. Cavs are nothing for me in this one, man. Let's go over here to Boston in this one. Celtics land 11.5 at the house versus the Pacers. Might not be a single time that I'll fade the Celtics all year. I mean, in the perfect situation, I could possibly do it. The Pacers are actually 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 versus the Boston Celtics. Halliburton's questionable here. Benedict Mathurin also has a right elbow injury, and so that's his shoe norm. So even if he plays, might want to look at some Mathurin unders in there when that's, like I say, elbow when you're shooting. That's going to mess with your form right there. I'm a basketball player. I'm telling you that right now, man. It's going to mess with you, man, or you're definitely not going to be 100%, if that makes sense, my guys. So, don't want to fade the Celtics here. They're coming off 3 straight wins. They're coming off a blowout win versus the Wizards. They can blow out any team in the NBA, but there also is a lot of parity with the Celtics because they like to shoot a ton of threes. And so if they do, you know what I'm saying, if they're not making them, this game could be a little bit closer. The Pacers aren't going to give up, but I can't really say because I need Halliburton. If I'm looking towards back in the Pacers, I need Hallie out there, but it could be a situation where he's ruled out. Celtics don't take the game as serious, which they can do from time to time. This is a big spread, enough room for the Celtics to kind of BS around, win the game, but not cover. Just really hard game to kind of figure out. Celtics come off a road game, come home for one home game, then back out on the road for three more road games, but they do have a couple of days of rest in between there. So being honest with you, I couldn't look towards the total or the side without knowing if Hallie's in or not. And I know that Benedict Mathurin has an elbow injury, so he's also questionable in this particular game, my guys. So really tough one to kind of figure out. I don't have a strong look on this one. I don't even have any notes on this one. Pacers have played them well in past years, but we know the Celtics are a different team this year, and they can blow out anybody by 20 points. I mean, the game can get ugly quick, my guys. So really tough one for me to figure out. This is not one that I have any confidence in either way. Halliburton is a huge piece to this handicap in this one, guys. Let's head over here to the streets of Miami in this one. Heat laying 5.5 at the house versus the Brooklyn Nets. I believe it's going up to 6 now. Now that Jimmy is in, yeah, it's going up to 6.5 across the board here for the Miami Heat. This is a spot that they should get it done in this one. This is the 3rd straight road game. So look, this is what I have written down in my notepad here, handy dandy notebook. Heat first half and full game are my lanes here. They've lost all 3 spots to the Brooklyn Nets. Like, so on one end, you can kind of say the Brooklyn Nets kind of owned them, but and this was a team that went to the finals as well. They lost all 3 matchups to the Brooklyn Nets last year, and they've lost 4 straight as well. They are off of a road trip, the Miami Heat, not the best of spots, but when you lost all 3 games on the road trip, you can't wait to get back to the house and get that home crowd, that energy behind you. You see what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different when you're coming off a road trip, but you lost every single game. At that point, you need a win in the worst way, my guys. So this is the 3rd straight road game for the Brooklyn Nets as well. And like I say, they do have a day off. They had a day off in Miami. It's also not the best of spots. They also have a huge revenge spot versus the Bulls on deck. The last time they faced the Bulls, they lost 131-87, my guys. So that's something that you're going to remember in that particular spot. They're probably going to drop this one and then go in there and beat the Bulls. Spencer Dinwiddie's out in this one. Cam Johnson's still out. I think Cam Johnson's still. I don't know for sure. I think he's questionable, but Nick Claxton should still be out in this one, my guys. So maybe check that. I had a ton of stuff to do this morning. I didn't really be able to check, but I know Dinwiddie is out for sure. So there's going to be Ben Simmons and the boys over there. Cam Thomas can ball, but just know this. The Heat play really sticky defense. They might not be the best offensive team, but I mean, every time they're out there, these guys are playing really close defense, lockdown defense. Cam Thomas might not like that. Let's just say that he hasn't been used to that his first few games. He hadn't had anyone that's like on his ass like white on rice. The Hornets, the Mavs, or the Cavs don't have anyone that's going to produce that. I mean, Isaac Okoro, but he's not for the Cavs, but he wasn't on Cam Thomas. The Heat, all 5 of their guys out there, it doesn't matter if it's Kane, Highsmith, even Duncan Robinson trying his best to play some defense. So I guarantee you Cam Thomas is in their game plan. Cam Thomas probably goes under his points prop today, as crazy as that sounds. I actually think this is a Heat spot in this particular game. It line opened up at 4, so you lost some value there. But this is a heat spot. They should come out here and win this game by double digits. I'm gonna cook up a parlay. I'm gonna figure out who else I'm gonna put with this. I'm throwing Heat money line in a two team parlay. I'm letting you know that right now. I'm putting them in a money line parlay with someone. I heavily lean to their first half and the full game in this particular spot, and watch their defense absolutely smother the Nets in this particular game, my guys. Heat will come out with the win. They probably win it by double digits, but I will go ahead and pair them with another team in a two-team money line parlay, my guys. You guys don't have to do that. Like I've never really just like go official with parlays, but that's something that I'm going to be doing, putting somebody with the Heat in a money line parlay, my guys. Let's go to H-Town in this one. Rockets laying 2.5 at the house versus the Charlotte Hornets in this one. The Sharps are on the Hornets, and I think they're going to lose their ass here. The Rockets are in the absolute not really desperation spot, but they're still desperate. They're 0-3 as well so far on the season. You ask me who I think has the better team, even though the Rockets hadn't looked well, I still think they're better than what they've been showing, my guys. I want to go official with the Rockets here, -2.5. Maybe this could be the other side of the parlay here, but Rockets lost all 3 of their games this season. But if you look at it, they played Orlando really tight for 3 quarters. Fourth quarter got smashed. They played the Spurs really tight. Should have won that game. End up losing it in overtime. Then they come home for their home opener. They play the Warriors. I watched that whole game. They gave the Warriors everything they could handle. I know it looks like they lost by 11. That was a 4-point game, like with 2 minutes left. You see what I'm saying? And they actually probably should have covered the full game as well. I think it was tied with a couple minutes. And then the Warriors went like on an 11-2 run, you see what I'm saying, and blew the game open. If they can play like that, they will smack the shit out the Hornets. The Hornets have a great starting 5. It's their bench that's really going to hold them back this year. LaMelo Ball is still on the minutes restriction as well. And like I say, the Rockets, they have more rest. This is their back-to-back home games as well. They're desperate for their first win. It's also the Hornets' first road game it's also their first road game after 3 straight home games as well. So maybe, you never know, maybe Hornets, which they do have some misfits on the team that like to get out and party. They off in Houston. I'm just saying, what I have written down in my handy dandy notebook is to look towards the Rockets in the first half and in the full game. Hadn't bet it yet, but this might be one of those plays that I end up adding like at the last minute. Regardless, I'm here to bring you the info, and I fully believe that the Rockets are the right side in this game. I think that they're the better overall team, especially when it comes to depth, and I think they're better coached as well. -2.5 is a short spread, kind of just asking them to win. I think the Rockets take off on these Hornets, and you know how the rocket go all the way up in the air, the Hornets just kind of flying kind of low. That's what I think happens in this one. I think they get a little wake-up call in this particular spot, man. Let me see. Hornets got Pacers on deck. Rockets have the Kings on deck. This is the second game of a 7-game homestand. They're going up against the Kings for a couple games, and then the Lakers as well. This is probably one of your best chances to get a win on this homestand. Rockets coming out here with the win, in my opinion. If they don't, I'll start to get a little worried about them. So that's like the top lean, like right now, the Rockets. I really think that that's like the third strongest bet of the day for me, my guys. Let's head over here to Minnesota in this one. I know it's cold as hell up there in Minnesota. It's cold where I'm at right now as well, man. Oh! I'm rocking with the Wolves in this one. If you don't like it, I want to tell you guys this. This is my bet. I come on here to tell you what I bet, guys. Now, I mean, if you want to ride with me, please do. But there's plenty of people that say, I'm not fading the Nuggets. I'm going to ride them until their wheels fall off. Like, God, I'm not telling you that you have to bet this. I want to make this clear. This is something that I'm doing with my own money. And I mean, if you ride with me, I hope that we cash here. But I think that we will. This is the Wolves coming in this spot, coming in hot. Huge spot for the Wolves here, man. And you know what? I'm really glad that they collapsed the way that they did versus the Hawks. You worry about a little bit of the mental aspect from doing that, but we know that they want this game, and that's all I could ask for. I do think that they can match up well with the Nuggets with their 2 big lineup of Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert, as long as he doesn't get in foul trouble. You got Jalen McDaniels back, who you didn't have in their playoff series there. So you got your defensive stopper back. They got Naz Reid back as well, who got hurt, I believe, in like the second game of the series. They have their full squad here. They add a little bit of depth. Shake Milton as well. a defensive guy as well. I think the Wolves are winning this game. I took them last night plus the 3 and on the money line. The spread is moving down with a lot of obviously with a lot of like public kind of thinking people being on the Nuggets here. It's even going down to 2. I think that's very indicative of what's probably going to happen in this fucking game here. I'm taking the Wolves. I'm howling with their ass. They got out this. They're coming off a bad game versus the Hawks, guys. They were up by 20 points in that game, and they led. They were up by 20, got outscored. They went on the run where they were outscored by 65 to 25. That's a 40-point swing in the game. You don't think they're pissed off in this one, man? The Nuggets also have a tourney game on deck. Personally, I feel like some of these teams that really want to go after that tournament crown there, I think they could possibly be looking ahead to their games. So in spots before those games, I'm going to be fading them. They do have and you look at this as well. They come back home. They came off a 2-game road trip. They came home for 1 game, then back out on the road. Now they'll go back home for their tournament game in a little home stand there. I don't like the spot for the Nugs in this one, my guys. It's going to be Mavs versus Nugs in Denver on Friday. And they probably going to take care of business there. I don't think they do it here. Now, if you think the Nuggets stay undefeated, and I mean, you can back the Nuggets. I just want to keep saying that. Like, I'm not telling you that you absolutely have to tell this or that I know the final score, but I'm on the Wolves here. I'm on them plus the 3 and on the money line as well. I'm not scared as well. The Sharps are heavily on the under as well. They think it's going to be a defensive game, and I could see that happening because the Nuggets have been playing really great defense. Even the young guys off the bench have been playing really great defense. And the Wolves, if they want to win this game, you're going to have to lock up on D and stop this high-powered Nuggets offense. But I think they have the team to do it. This is one I want to take this spot where the teams are at the house, especially coming off a bad loss as well. I actually think that the Wolves could come out here and cash a trifecta spot because if you want to win, you got to come out and show out in the first quarter and punch the Nuggets in the mouth, and you have to sustain that through the whole game. So personally, I'm probably adding Wolves in the first half as well. Not sure if I'm gonna bet the first quarter, but Wolves in the first half is also a top spot because if they don't cover the first half, I won't feel great about them in the full game here, man. So Wolves first half and full game, in my opinion, I definitely think are the right size of this fucking game. Let's fucking go. I need this shit, man. It's time to get on the fucking roll here. Let's go to Dallas in this one, guys. Mavs -5 in this one, man. I'm not hyped up. I'm pissed off, man, because I after going 0-8-1 to start the season on Action Network, I'm due. Well, it wasn't 2 of those were football, so 0-6-1. I'm due to win 9 straight plays, and I'm gonna do it, my guys. I hope you guys join me. Mavs laying 5 at the house. I'm pissed off, my guys. Mavs laying 5 at the house versus Chicago Bulls. The Sharps are heavy on the under in this spot. It was 227 last night or 226. It's all the way down to 223. Looks like Kyrie Irving is doubtful as well, which does help out the under. The Bulls have actually owned the Mavs. It's crazy. They've won 6 out of their last 7 meetings versus the Dallas Mavs, and also 6-1 against the spread over that what's over that stretch as well. So like I say, they lost both of them last season as well. One of those games where they lost 144 to 115, got absolutely smoked, man. So on one end, like I had Mavs written down as a possible look here, but they also have their play. They've also started off the season undefeated, which I didn't think they would do. Some would maybe kind of like due for a loss, in my opinion. Then they also have the Nuggets on deck, and it's a tournament game. So I don't like the spot, but both teams have a tournament game. The Bulls have the Nets on deck as well. But like I said, I think the Nets going to come in pissed. Now, here's why I'm not even looking towards taking the Bulls. They're thinking about tearing everything down, man. They're thinking about trading Zach LaVine. They're thinking about trading DeRozan as well. This is already a team that's kind of already getting into it with the coach and stuff. Really hard to figure out the Bulls. I probably would stay away from the side because I could see the Bulls hearing the rumblings of possibly getting traded. They're talking about DeRozan and LaVine might go to Philly there. It's crazy, but that shit would be unfair, to be honest with you. But regards to that, they're really talking about LaVine might go somewhere or DeRozan parting ways. So I can't back the Bulls here, but I do think it's an under spot. Bulls offense can struggle if LaVine and DeRozan aren't making every single shot, and they actually have some defenders. Their bench is like basically just nothing but defense and bad offense. Alex Caruso, Torrey Craig as well. Andre Drummond. Those are three guys that's a under. That's under right there, man. Three guys that care really. That's all about defense. Mavs missing Kyrie Irving. This pace will probably slow up a little bit because Kyrie likes to push the pace. Luka kind of slows it down. This game probably goes under the 223. Kind of lost some value, but I would probably stay away from the side. I'd look toward the under in this one, guys. Three more games here, and really two more because I don't have much on this Jazz versus Grizzlies spot. Can't talk you off. Just continue to fade the Grizzlies. They are desperate, and personally, I don't go up against desperate teams, but it's just a really tough game to figure out, in my opinion. Like I said, we started off the season 0-4, so we know that they want to win in the worst way. The problem is who is fucking playing here? Luke Kennard's. I'm pretty sure Luke Kennard's still out. Don't quote me on that, but I know that Derrick Rose is out, so your backup point guard is out. You only got Marcus Smart, who's not really a true point guard. You don't have Tyus Jones to bail you out anymore. The Jazz have the deeper team than the Grizzlies do, man. So I'm really starting to get worried about the Grizzlies over there. They're really going to start to lose confidence. This is another spot where the sharps are on the under in this one. It makes a lot of sense. But the only thing with the Jazz are they shoot a ton of threes, and if they start making them, it can fly over the total. But really tough game for me to kind of figure out. I would like the Jazz to win this game, and then I'll be on the Magic the next night, my guys. That's what I would do for sure. But it's a really tough game to kind of figure out. Grizzlies also have a tournament game on deck, but it doesn't matter. They're in the need of a win in the worst way. But I'm actually rooting for the Jazz here. I'm rooting for the Jazz. They're coming off a close game versus the Nuggets. Come back to the house where they play their best basketball. They are the better team right now. So if I had to bet it, even though I don't like to go against desperation spots, I'd have to look towards the Jazz here, even though the Grizzlies are 0-4 in the season. Could be 0-5. Let's root for the Jazz to win this game, and then we will take the Orlando Magic tomorrow for sure, my guys. So that's it. I'll watch this game, yeah, I'm rooting for the Jazz to win. And really, the way that the Grizzlies are playing and the way that their depth is really thin right now. Jazz should come out here and win this game, my guys. But it's really hard for me personally because I know how it is when you start the season 0-4. You can't wait to get that win, and you're playing with desperation there. So a game that I'll watch, but I think regardless, I'm probably gonna be on the Magic tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? Let's go over here to the streets of San Francisco in this one, man. Warriors land 7 at the house versus the Kings, and this is a spot that no one's gonna want to take. Nobody is gonna want this, and I could be on the wrong side, but I don't fucking think so here. Excuse my French if your kids are watching, my guys. I'm sorry, but y'all know I put all my heart and soul into this stuff. That's why I take it so hard, man. But Warriors, obviously, they've owned the Kings of late. They kicked them out of the playoffs as well. They even won the playoff revenge spot in Sacramento. Steph continues to go crazy. If you look at this spot, I don't care what the names on the jerseys or who's playing. I know that De'Aaron Fox is out. I told you he was going to be out in the last game. I saw him he injured his ankle kind of bad. He's going to be out for a few games here. Look at this spot here, man. You look at the Warriors. They come off 3 straight road games. They played 3 games in 4 nights. I know it's early in the season. These things still matter when you're playing a basketball game. 3 games in 4 nights, all on the road. You went 3-0 on the road. And you know what? I think sometimes it's like the solstice flips. Remember, the Warriors started out horrible on the road last year and were really good at the house. But you know what? I kind of got an epiphany, though, that I said, I feel like the Warriors might do the opposite. Like when they went out there and smacked the Pelicans, I say they're turning up on the road now, and they might start dropping games at the house. And it's going to be crazy because that's when everybody likes to bet the Warriors. I don't care if they win this game. I don't think it's going to be by more than 7 points here. I'm taking the Sacramento Kings. I did take plus 7.5 last night. I even like the plus 7. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if this is a close game that goes down to the wire in this one. Everybody should be back for the Warriors. I don't care. It's an absolute dead zone type of spot. Off 3 straight road games, 3rd game in 4 nights. So this is 4th game in 6 nights. And then you already have a tournament game versus the Thunder in the next on Friday, which I like them in, but it's not even that. You head back, you go and you drop your bags by the door. You come home for 1 home game. Leave the bags packed because you're heading right back out for a 4-game road trip. I would never lay the points with a team in this spot. I don't care what the name is. I don't care what the name on the jerseys are, name on the back of the jerseys here. This is an absolute fade spot. This is a spot you don't really want to lay points with the home team in this particular spot, man. So I wouldn't be surprised if they came out sluggish. The Kings actually have have, like, if they come out lit, they could come out and cover the first and build a lead here, like they done before, and build a lead first quarter, first half, and full game king spot here. This could be a spot where the Warriors might not even come and cover the third quarter here. So I do not like the spot for the Warriors. This is something that I cap, like taking the team just situationally. This is a spot that I will take the 7.5 points and live with the results 10 times out of 10, my guys. Give me the Kings there, my second best play of the day in this one, guys. Last game up, we're going to LA in this one. This line did go down to 5 in this one, but I could only look Lakers. Now, a little bit of info. The Clippers were watching, they were watching film of the Lakers before they even played the Magic. See what I'm saying? That's a little concerning, because that means that they hate them so much. We're not even going to watch film on the Magic. We're going to go ahead and get ready for the Lakers. It's kind of crazy. Excuse me. They've beaten the Lakers 11 straight times. The way that I like to think, I'd like to take the Lakers here, but like I think I did that twice last year, and it didn't work. It didn't work. The Clippers just own them, man. Now with that trade, with the Harden trade, Clippers lost some depth, right? No Batum, no Robert Covington. You can't even throw KJ Martin in there, which they were doing as well. So they've lost some depth. They've covered 6 straight versus the Lakers. They've covered 9 out of the last 10, and like I say, beat them 11 straight times. At what point is it going to flip? Do I like the Lakers' form right now? Not really. They should have lost versus the Magic, in my opinion. But it's Lakers or nothing for me here. Clippers are on the back-to-back. We don't know if Paul George or Kawhi are going to play. Personally, I think that they are, because their depth is so thin right now that they kind of have to play one of them. You see what I'm saying? Let me see. They only had, so look, they still got some guy. I mean, Amir Coffey, Brown, Plumlee, really like 1 through 7. They already, I mean, if Kawhi or Paul George don't play, they're going to get smoked in this game. I'll tell you that right now. We know Russell's going to want to play. He's going to want to show out here. But when he tries too hard, he doesn't really play that well. It's a really tough game. I know I'm not laying 5 with the Lakers. I know I'm not laying that. But it's one of those spots where if you could have got the opener with the 3, you see what I'm saying? It's a really tough game to figure out, because the Clippers are in their heads like they own them. I'm the type of guy that goes against that 11 times revenge, but it didn't work out well for me last year, man. Still lean Lakers. The number's gotten too high now, even though it's down to 5, but it's probably looking like Paul George and Kawhi will play. And if that's the case, I couldn't lay the points with the Lakers here, even though the Clippers on the back-to-back, they didn't have to travel anywhere. They are super happy about getting Harden. That's why they blew the Magic out. They just got like a uptick in their, like they got some pep in their step. But it's a really tough game to figure out. I'll tell you, if Paul George or Kawhi sit out here, they will probably get smacked, though, my guys. But that's the show. I got to do another show right after this, man. So just going to recap you with the plays. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Didn't really have a lot of time to pay attention today, but I know it's all love in the chat. Even if you're, you know what I'm saying, it's all love in the chat, man. 2 top plays for me today, and I'm not even lying, man. The Rockets is my third, like, strongest bet of the day. I hadn't bet it yet, so I can't go official with it, but Rockets, I'll tell you right now, my strongest plays of today, Wolves plus the 3, plus the 2.5, and on the money line, I think they win. If I'm going to take them plus a 3, at the house, I think they're going to win. So I had to put some on the money line. You see what I'm saying? And also the Kings. This is a spot that I'll tell you. It's not the Kings. It's the away team versus the home team that's playing 4th game in 6 nights. That's in the middle of a road trip, coming back home and then going back to the West and have a tourney game on deck as well. You see what I'm saying? So give me the Kings there plus the 7, plus the 7.5. Wolves plus the 3, plus the /2.5. And on the money line as well, plus 120. And then, like I said, so those are 3 plays, but a different game. My third strongest feel on the game would be the Houston Rockets, desperate team, back-to-back home games. Hornets on their first road game of the season as well, after being nice and comfy at the house. I think the Rockets actually should cover their first half and the full game. Have a lot better depth, in my opinion. A lot better coach. They're desperate for a win. The Rockets probably take off in this one. Oh! We rocking with the Wolves and Nilsson, man. You don't have to bet it. These are my plays. These are my personal plays. So I'm saying, I'm just letting you know, you don't have to bet these plays. I'm not telling you this is 100% right, but I believe it's 100% right. Let's go 3-0 one time for the one time. Let's get this cash, my guys. Back tomorrow at the regular time, 1 p.m. Eastern. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's all love. Hit the like button. If you really do like the show, subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends and family about the show as well. Make sure you go download the Action Network app right now. I'm on there as well. A lot of other great cappers, NFL experts for free picks as well. It's free picks, man. Don't go pay for picks. Not when it's a lot of different free picks that you can get, man, from expert cappers, my guys. So go download the Action Network app right now, whether you like baseball, soccer, hockey, whatever, man. NBA, college basketball, NFL, college football, we got the works over there, man. We got the works, my guys. Action Network J. Let's go, man. Let's get this cash. It's time to get on the run. Let's go, my guys. All I can do is keep going, going with my situational spots. And at some point, they will start to pan out for us. It's all love. Let's get this cash. Let's go 3-0 one time for the one time. We will win today. That's the type of energy you got to have. Let's go. I'm out. Fucking right.